Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the November 5th edition of Carolina Week.
I'm Erin Franklin. Find out about a polarizing issue that might affect the town council elections tomorrow.
I'm Marissa May. I'll tell you about a report that might cause you to rethink the jock stereotype.
In sports, one Tar Heel team heads to its conference tournament ranked #1.
Did we skip fall and go straight to winter? Weathercaster Laura Pagano will tell you just how cold it will get.
All that and a new place to spin your wheels. Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Hello and welcome to the Monday edition of Carolina Week. I'm Carla Babb.
And I'm Adam Rue. Thank you for joining us. Candidates for local elections often focus on the economy, crime, or education. But this election is a little different. Our Erin Franklin is live in the newsroom. And Erin, this isn't an issue that's usually at the heart of elections.
No, it isn't, Adam, but in less than 24 hours, voters will cast ballots in the town council elections, and it's the homelessness issue that has candidates divided. Most people running for town council agree homelessness is a problem, but they don't agree about how to solve it. Candidate Penny Rich says the downtown location of the men's shelter needs to change.
It needs to be away from the center of town, away from temptation, and we need to get a new homeless shelter.
Candidate Will Raymond agrees, but says it's not for the town to say where people can spend their time.
If you're a homeless person, you don't have a place to go during the day, but otherwise you're not causing any trouble, you have every right in the world to be downtown.
The current council talked about moving the shelter and has made it illegal to panhandle after dark, but police don't often enforce it. None of the incumbents in the race responded to interview requests.
This is, I believe, a problem with our current council is that they like to cruise at about 50,000 feet, and they look way down on the town, and they think about kind of big concept solutions.
And while politicians talk, employees of downtown businesses and students like Junior Angelo Koklanis have to deal with the panhandlers every night.
It's kind of a problem. It's kind of a nuisance to walk down Franklin Street and be kind of hassled every time, especially late at night. It's not very fun.
Raymond and Rich say the town has to address different parts of the homeless population differently to make a difference.
There's troublemakers on Franklin Street, and some of the troublemakers are panhandlers. Some of the troublemakers are homeless.
Some of our panhandlers on the street actually do have homes. They live someplace. They're just making a lot of money on the street and then going home.
And that's one thing everyone seems to agree on, the need to deal with panhandlers who aren't homeless.
Erin, how do the candidates differ about laws aimed at regulating panhandling?
Some candidates think that the panhandlers should be treated as employees and taxed on their earnings, while others think that the problem can't be solved by issuing more ordinances.
Erin Franklin, live in the newsroom. Thank you.
Barack Obama is pretty good at firing up a crowd, and that's just what he did during a recent campaign stop in Durham. Thousands filled the stadium at NC Central University.
I want big change, not little change.
To hear the presidential hopeful give a stump speech. Students from all 4 local universities were there as Obama covered topics including health care, jobs, education, and the war in Iraq. Obama also attacked critics who say he lacks experience.
2 of the longest resumes in Washington were Dick Cheney's and Donald Rumsfeld, and they led us into the biggest foreign policy disaster in a generation. So a long resume doesn't guarantee good judgment.
Obama will face the first Democratic caucuses in Iowa on January 3rd. Right now, he trails Hillary Clinton for the Democratic nomination. And Obama isn't the only big-name Democrat to make a swing through the Triangle area. People filed into Jones Auditorium on Meredith College's campus Friday to hear Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi. The audience welcomed Pelosi with a standing ovation. Pelosi became the first woman to serve as Speaker of the House when her fellow Democrats elected her in January. She spoke about leadership, the war in Iraq, and what it's like to be the first woman in her position.
I think that a woman attaining this high office gave people not only a belief in the beauty of their dreams, but a belief that anything could happen for a woman now in our country.
Pelosi's appearance was part of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina's presidential lecture series at Meredith College. An act on the table in Durham could help cut down on gang problems in the Bull City. If any of the gang members you see here is convicted under the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, or RICO, he could go behind bars for longer periods of time. As with the federal version of RICO, prosecutors and police would have to prove a person committed at least 2 felonies and was part of an organized crime unit. Opponents say RICO would be too costly and time-consuming and wouldn't be a surefire solution to the fight against gangs.
Being a student is tough. Being an athlete is tough. Being a student athlete sometimes takes a doctorate in time management. But our Marissa May tells us some student athletes have the right game plan.
Many athletes fight the stereotype of performing only on the field, Adam, while slacking in the classroom. Numbers from a recently released NCAA report tell a different story.
Student athlete. It's a title few can achieve at the college level. It carries many responsibilities. But a report the NCAA released shows that many Division I scholarship athletes have handled the pressures very well. The NCAA is finding that athletes are continuing to graduate at a rate higher than the regular student body does. During the study period, 77% of athletes complete their degrees within 6 years of enrolling, while only 62% of the regular student body did so. The numbers can be a bit misleading, though, and UNC Assistant Athletic Director John Blanchard says the NCAA is continually trying to tweak the measurement system.
There are so many scenarios that lead to non-graduation that aren't academic in nature. So athletics programs were getting a bad reputation and because of that. The graduation success rate then came in.
There's disagreement about the scale, but most people agree athletes are doing well overall. Blanchard believes it's the athletic culture that helps foster success, especially here at UNC.
I think in athletics that it's an emphasis of ours, not only in the administration and the coaching staff, but again the student athletes that we have. It's kind of part of what you do.
A support system for athletes helps ensure their academic success. Robert Mercer heads that effort.
I think we play a very large role in making sure that our student athletes are always meeting their degree requirements first and foremost, because not only do they need that for their graduation, they also have to maintain that for their eligibility to compete.
I'm just outside the Athletic Academic Center. It's located in an area to best serve the athletes, right above their training facilities and very close to many fields of play.
Now, Marissa, you told us the graduation rate for Division I athletes in general. Do we know what UNC's graduation rate is?
Blanchard told me UNC has an 82% graduation success rate. That's 6 points higher than the national average. UNC has 6 women's teams tied with the highest graduation success rate of 100%. Men's basketball is 86 and football follows at 79.
Marissa, thanks. To see the full list of graduation reports, you can go to our website, carolinaweek.org. People flock to western North Carolina this time of year to see the leaves change.
But this year, they're finding something they didn't expect.
I'm Sarah Huffman. Coming up, I'll tell you about one North Carolina species that's dying out.